Hello, welcome to Real Voices of Happy Valley. This is another podcast that has been we've had for several months, recorded in the summer, but then it was sort of overtaken by our break. Your trip around Europe, me being laid up for a couple of months with COVID, and things have progressed. But this is our chat with Natalie George of Big Tree. You will recognise it from Branch Out Cafe in the market and the old big building surrounding that. Interesting girl, Natalie.
Yes, she is. She's moved over from Burnley and is setting about making this massive building into a club and cafe and live music venue.
And function rooms and community hub. And she's very much relying on the people of Todmorden to turn up and say, hey, Natalie, can we do this?
Yes.
You've got a great idea for art workshops, DJ workshops, etc. Can I join in and help make it work?
So we're hoping this podcast will encourage, I'm sure that's already happening, but will encourage more local people to go along.
Absolutely. Call into the Branch Out Cafe, ask for Natalie, go on Big Tree, the Big Tree Todmorden Facebook page, and find out more.
Yeah.
Okay, and we wish her well.
And enjoy the listen. Okay, we're sitting in the Branch Out Cafe in Big Tree next to Todmorden Market, talking to Natalie George, who's basically running it and the venue upstairs. And It's a really nice space down here in the cafe.
Thank you.
So, do you want to just tell us what your plans are, Natalie?
So, well, this building is a over 200-year-old building. It's Oddfellows Hall. So the Oddfellows started building this in 1809. So I know you said you were sat in the cafe at the moment, and I've got the venue above, but I've actually got four venues here. So we've got a basement, the ground level, which is the cafe, and then two other floors. The top being a live music venue, and the middle being maybe more of a commercial late entertainment for people. All the spaces here will be offered to the community for function room hire, local grassroots bands. We want to provide a platform for local bands, local artists. It's very exciting actually. This space is just amazing. And it's been great. It's been a lot of work getting the building cleaned and emptied, but the space is unbelievable. And I just want to, offer this space to the community in Todmorden as well, and see what we can achieve, how we can grow this building and provide a platform for developing artists, but also to bring in some larger name touring bands, DJs. We want that as well. It's very exciting. And I'm sure things will change as we go along as well, because we want the public to come down and give us some ideas of what they want to see in the area.
So you want it to evolve?
Definitely want to evolve.
Just deciding what it's going to be like.
Yeah, I don't want to be here to, and offering services that people don't want. For example, I want this building to be. The building's beautiful, and unfortunately, majority of the building has been closed up for maybe 10, 15 years. Majority of it has been closed apart from a couple of levels. So now having it all under one control, one kind of lease, one vision, we're hoping that to have it all open and having it as a nice creative buzzing hive where people can come and enjoy the space.
So we're looking at it bit by bit. The first thing, if people go to the market, the first thing they're going to see is the Branch Out Cafe.
Yes,
signs in the window. And we've been here a couple of times. Really nice coffee, as you've made us just now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you call it a creative community cafe.
Yeah.
So what, in your mind, what does
for
that
example, the branch out with the name branch out, we want to branch out. This is going to be the information centre of the building. What's on? It's the point of reference for the building. With it being on the ground floor, it's accessible to everybody. Because the floors are on higher levels or lower levels. The creative community cafe, that kind of the idea behind that. So, for example, some of the pieces of artwork that you can see around you, they're all for sale by local artists.
Right.
So we want people to come bring their artworks in, and we will we'll display them for them. You know, once they sell, we just take a little cut for our, for that. But so it's another platform for people to sell their items. Empower themselves by having somewhere to display them, things like that. And then with the kitchen, so I don't want to sublease any of the areas at the moment fully. We want to have it all under the Big Tree brand. So what we're looking at doing, which is the vision, is we're going to offer the space out on daily basis to people. Now, if somebody wants to take it for 4 days, for example, and somebody else wants to take it for 2 days, that'll be worked out, and we'll start off doing a 3-month trial with people to give them chance to promote their brand, their food. So each day we'll have somebody different in, possibly, and that'll all be marketed well, and it'll all be on our pages for everyone to see.
That's quite unusual, isn't it? It's quite radical.
Yeah, because we want to give everybody a chance. You don't want to just have it to one person and only offering one type of food, for example. We want to give a real variety and give chances to people that want to have their little business but maybe can't commit to a full-time 7 days a week. Because I know I couldn't commit to 7 days a week in one place. Well, especially not at the moment with having the full, the full beautiful building that we're sat in now.
I would have thought 8 days a week might be more appropriate to describe you at the moment.
It feels like I'm doing 8 days a week at the moment. But it's out of love, I love the building, and Todmorden's such a lovely, beautiful area. We've had such a buzz of people wanting to know what's going on, and so all that's going to be out there on our pages soon, and there'll be more promo going up. And
so I can see, or I have seen when we were here before, tables where people obviously do artwork and things like that.
Of course, yeah.
So is that going to be at a different time from the cafe, or is it all?
So we'll hope to have different workshops on as well for different, for various different age groups. Like for example, there's some knitting stuff there. We want the elderly to come in, or not even elderly, children if they want to knit, come in and do a little bit of knitting, and we also have a bite to eat. And there's always artwork, various art materials for people to come and down and have a little doodle and things like that. But I would love to start doing some creative workshops. So if anyone out there is interested in doing any creative workshops, please get in touch. So this is really what I'm trying to do. Really, I'm trying to reach out to the community here and say, what do you want to see? What do you want to see here? What do you want to do? Do you want to bring anything to the building? Let's not have this building sat again with no tenants in it for 10 years or whatever it was. We've got the building to a good standard. We've still got lots of work to do, but we've got the building to a good standard now where it's ready to go and ready for the public to come and view. Every space here we want to hire out as well as function rooms. For example, the middle floor that we've got, we had a function in on Saturday. And it's a nice little intimate venue for, say, maybe a sweet 16 birthday party that don't want to have a big venue. It's scary to have a big venue sometimes, isn't it? If you're having a party, you don't want, it's a bit nerve-wracking. Is anyone going to turn up? So at least we have bigger venues and smaller venues here, so we can offer all of those as function room hire. We really want to get the building buzzing, maybe down the line looking at doing weddings here as well and things like that. So there's lots going on. It
must be kind of exciting, but a bit scary being right at the beginning.
Very exciting, a little bit scary. It is a little bit scary because there's a lot to do, and sometimes when I look at my workload, I think, what am I doing, Natalie? What are you doing? but I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity here, though. I couldn't have, the building, I fell in love with the building. So it's a labour of love. And I love being creative. So
That's ideal.
So we've got plenty of scope for that.
So I've seen, because I used to run a sort of live music venue.
Yeah.
And I've had a look upstairs at your stage, your PA, and it looks like a great room.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a great room. But this is really why I want to offer this space out to people as well, so they get involved in their own promotional material. Because we do that as well here. I design posters for people if they like me to design posters, because not everybody can do that. And we also want to just offer the space out, for people.
So in your mind now, if a local promoter has got an idea for a gig or a series of
please
gigs,
come and see us. Yeah.
You'd like them to be grassroots band, localish grassroots bands.
I mean, ideally, I'm staying away from tribute bands. We have a lovely pub over the road there, the Polish Knob, it's called. It's a naughty word, but they have great live music on, and they do a lot of tribute acts. And I feel that tribute acts are supported vastly across the board, really, because grassroots bands don't get that same. They don't get the same amount of bookings I've found over the years from running venues in the past, due to the fact that nobody knows the music. People want to go and see a band called Non Jovi, for example. These tribute bands, because they like to hear things that they know.
Yeah, and they probably can't ever afford.
They might not even be around anymore. The bands might be,
Yeah.
I found it happened when 2007, 2008, and they had the economic collapse. They call it the credit crunch at the time. And it's similar to now, where people haven't got a lot of spare money. And I found then that people didn't really feel that they could afford to take risks.
So that's
before that, people would look at a venue and say, well, if they're on there, then the band will be okay. And after that, the whole sort of tribute act really took off. And like you, I wasn't a big fan of it.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of tribute acts unless they're really good. Because if I like a song, I like to hear it as it's sung. I don't really like to hear it, a drowned-down version of it. Not saying that all tribute bands are that either, but I like to hear fresh, new talent, and I had a venue in Burnley called the Gallery at Creative Arts, and we run that for a few years. During lockdown, we did some live streaming there, which was great, because we were having bands down to come and do live streaming, and nobody else at the time was allowed to kind of listen to live music. So I felt very privileged to be able to do that. Socially distanced band, we live streamed them out on the internet. So we still tried to keep a lot of bands going through and giving some promotional material to them work with after, because a lot of local bands. I mean, a lot of musicians and artists, along with many of the other people in lockdown, suffered, drastically with the mental health, because your identity is kind of taken away from you. You can't practice with your band. You can't go and have that little bit of a release and get your creative freedom on the same, can you, when you're in lockdown? No. I mean, for me, lockdown was pretty great, because I learned to DJ in lockdown, and then when I came out of lockdown, I started getting booked for gigs. So for me, although there was ups and downs, our business was closed, but I found something else, and I'm now a DJ. I'm now playing my third year at Beaturda Festival. So there's swings and roundabouts with that sort of thing, but. That's all great. But I found in Burnley these grassroots bands, they were, I just fell in love with them. They were just such hard-working individuals, and, they wasn't getting enough promotion. There wasn't getting anyone supporting them the same. So that's what we tried to do there. Unfortunately, that venue closed, and now I'm here trying to do the similar thing here with them. And I've got in touch with a few of the old bands that used to play in Burnley for us. And they're all going to come and play soon as well. So that's really great.
And you're in a really good place, because the number of musicians in the valley here, stretching from here
exactly.
Up towards
So
Halifax,
I found there's more
amazing.
scope in Todmorden for. I mean, we had a lot of bands that came from Todmorden to Burnley at the Gallery. Yeah. So it's great that there's so much talent. It's bursting with talent in Todmorden. Not just bands, artists and creative minds. It's just a hive for it. So this building just seems, what we've got going on here just seems to fit, and it seems to be a case of the right place at the right time for me here.
I think it is, and I hope you're right.
I hope
really,
so too.
really wish you well on this.
Yeah.
And I think having said, as I said before, the sort of the band room, the venue upstairs is a good size as well.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
For sort of grassroots bands, and even for people who've had hits in a previous incarnation with bands and things like that. Yeah, it's ideal. And talking about DJing, I've noticed we're sitting right next to some decks here.
Yeah, set of 1210s, Technic 1210s, the classic vinyl players. Them. Yeah, I mean, they was actually bought for the gallery as an in-house set of decks. And when they went to lockdown, they came home with me, and now they're my babies. And I started collecting records. In lockdown, and it just kind of went from there, really. So now we have these in the cafe, and we're going to be having open deck nights, DJ workshops moving forward too.
That's what I was wondering. That's why I was asking.
DJ workshops are going to be coming up soon. Open deck nights, and I'm looking for people to help run these workshops with me. So if anyone's listening that wants to come and do any workshops for DJs or help out with those, We're also looking to provide some kind of sound engineering opportunities to people. I need local young sound engineers that want to get a bit of industry experience. I would welcome anyone down that wants to do that as well. I do think that sound, if you're doing grassroots bands, we have to make them sound great. We can't be giving them a rubbish backline. They have a backline being the sound the PA they play over. We have an in-house set of drums that they're welcome to use and things like that. And we want to make them sound great because they sound great anyway a lot of the time. But sometimes where people let down, the grassroots a lot let down is just the backline that they're being played over isn't the greatest. We need to make them sound great.
And you've got a sound engineer.
We've got a couple of guys actually, but they're not always available. So we do need more sound engineers, and we do need some younger. We want to give these opportunities back to the younger. They're our future, the younger guys. We want to give. We've got actually a young girl young lass who helps us out with sound engineering called Fleur as well, who's also in a band. So that'll all be coming soon.
It's nice to hear that there's a young woman sound engineer.
Yeah.
I have a lot of experience with sound engineers, and often they're miserable old buggers.
You do get a lot of old school males that think that women don't know what they're doing in this industry, and we like to change that opinion.
Any old school males listening, we're sure you.
Yeah,
I
come down and we'll give you
I should
money.
say I've called them submissible old buggers, but they are incredibly talented.
Oh
miserable
yeah, I'm
old
sure
buggers.
I'm sure there are. But we should always try and pass these skills over as well, because I don't believe that anyone should play for free. I mean, if they want to, sometimes we do have that happen. They just want a platform, they want a stage to come and practice on. That's a different thing, But everyone, I think musicians should be paid fairly, because they're doing a great job. And I see them up and down the steps with the drum kits and the guitars and the bass amps and all that equipment. And I think, and they're getting 50 quid, at the end of the night each per player usually. And you can get big DJs that go into a gig and getting, $8,000 for a gig for taking a USB stick.
Yes, I've seen that before.
I know it's a vast comparison that, but it's still reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we need to give these grassroots a lot of chance because they just need to be heard. And
Yeah.
I remember reading once about some restaurant owner who said, "Would your band like to come and play? It'll be free. It'll be practice for you." In other words, he wasn't paying them. And they said, "Well, tell you what, you come to our house and cook us a 5-course meal. It'll be practice for you."
Exactly. So
you wouldn't do it with other industries.
I think a lot of people think, "Oh, they're having fun. They're just doing it, just having fun." We'll give them that, but it's not. They need paying.
Well, hopefully they are having fun.
Well, yeah. Don't get me wrong. We have had nights where we've had days where bands have come and they've helped us out, and they have done a gig, but we will feed and water them very well, you know, and we'll make them sound great. And it's a bit of fun. No one's making any money, really. Even the bar staff sometimes, when we've started out in the past at the gallery and things, even the bar staff was my friends helping out for free. So, you know, in them situations, we have had those situations happen, but we wouldn't ever ask that of people, you know. Not when, like you say, the bars, the tills are tinging and everyone's dancing and enjoying themselves. Yeah. Get your money, get your hands in your pockets and pay these guys. You know, they deserve it.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, I think just to finish off, I mean, looking at some of the other things, just so that people know where we are and the history of this place. I mean, 200-year history, we can't touch on all of that, can we?
No,
but it has been various places in the past. It was the Blue Nose for a while.
It was the Blue Nose.
It was Smokies for a while. This is the first time.
It's been Monty's as well.
Monty's, yes.
And Monty's is on the front, kind of the front street in between Boots and which is now the Big Tree entrance, which is the main entrance to the top floor and the middle floor.
Yeah. And so there's a long history of music here.
A long history of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And may it continue.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if people want to, you know, be part of that history of music and take it into the future, how do they get in touch with you?
So on Facebook, Big Tree Todmorden. And they can pop into the caf at any point and leave, if I'm not around, leave a little note with your name and a number that I can contact you on. I think that's it at the moment. But we'll be getting some. Branch Out will have its own page soon, but it will go off the Big Tree Todmorden page.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's been great.
It's
Thank
been
you,
really
guys.
interesting talking to you, Natalie.
Yeah,
we wish you the best of luck.
Great, thank you so much.